Hello, grade R and grade 1 parents of Peakwood College. Um, so we decided to put a bit of a video together for you, just from an emotional perspective of how you can prepare your kids for um, coming back to school on Monday. I know that I am very excited about my son coming back to school. I think getting him into a routine at home has been quite challenging. So I think I'm not alone. I know there are a lot of parents in the same boat. But I think it's just important that we can do as much as we can from our side at home to be able to prepare our kids. So I've just made a couple of notes. I'm just going to go through a couple of things. So I think that it's really important that we start preparing our kids now. So there needs to be a lot of conversation around going back to school. Um, we've started to do a bit of a countdown. So how many sleeps until we go back to school? Um, my son at the moment is in two minds. He's excited and he's a little bit nervous, but we are doing a countdown. So just to build a bit of excitement and the way we're speaking about it, and I want to encourage you as parents to speak about it in a very positive light. So start speaking about the things like we'll be able to see our friends. At least when you come home, we'll be able to play. You don't necessarily have to do more work. That's been the kind of thing that we've been battling with, and I think what we're looking forward to. Prepare them for what is expected at school. So there's a couple of things that are going to happen. Um, I think having young children back at school, I think it's going to be a lot of feeling our way in terms of how it's going to happen. And so I think it's very important that we prepare them for what we do know so far. The hand washing, the social distancing, the contact, what contact they can have with people around them, the masks. I think it's important that you speak them through these things because they are still young. You don't need to go into too much detail, but it is important that you tell them things like your mask needs to stay on for the entire day. We'll be able to take it off to eat, but we will have to put a mask back on again after that. Um, when we're sitting in the classroom, you need to make sure that you stay some distance away from everybody, and obviously that's marked off. But I think it's important that you speak your children through this. I know that we received an email today. The grade R parents received an email with the presentation that Principal Joan went through, and it had photos in that presentation of what the classroom looks like. And I think it's important that you show them that. For a child to overcome anxiety, it's very important that they're prepared, that they have some kind of idea of what they're walking into. It's very difficult to send an anxious child into an unknown environment because that anxiety just shoots through the roof. So we need to show them photos. We need to make sure that they know exactly what it is that they're walking into, just to lower those levels of anxiety, because then they'll know, okay, this is what it looks like. This is what I can expect. And I think you need to speak a little bit through what contact will look like. So I know on our chat that we had, there was a question asked on when, if my child falls, will they be able to be consoled by somebody? And that's a difficult one. But I think that we need to sit down with our children and explain that we shouldn't be hugging and there isn't going to be contact, for the reason that if your child does fall or if something does happen, they can expect a different kind of reaction to what they had previously. And I think it's important that there's no harm in saying, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to go down, but it will be different to what we are used to. And just explaining to them that it might involve people keeping their distance. And it's not because nobody wants to help you, it's because we have to try and keep our distance in this situation. The other thing that I feel you need to prepare them for is drop off. So I think it's very, very important. We've been told that and I think everybody, parents are not allowed to get out of the car. And especially your anxious children, you need to prepare them for this. So say to them, what do you think you would be comfortable with? When I drop you off, are you going to give mommy a hug and a kiss in the car? Should we give each other 3 hugs before we leave home so that when I drop you off, it's a drop off and you can go? But speak them through exactly what you're going to do and find out what they want as well. Obviously, keeping within the boundaries of, I can't get out the car. You need to get out the car yourself, and then show them the photo of the front entrance of the school that they need to then stand on a dot or whatever the case is, and they're going to have their temperature taken. speak them through that is what they're going to expect when they get to the school. Okay, it's very important that you prepare them for what they're going to see, for how it's going to happen. It's not because mommy doesn't want to get out the car, it's because I can't get out the car, and this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to give you a hug, I'm going to give you a kiss, we put your mask on, and you're going to get out the car from there. So I think that that's what you need to speak them through. Again, I think focus on the positives. So you'll see your friends. You're going to be taught by your teacher. Isn't it going to be exciting to see your teacher? Try and speak about it in a positive light if you can. And then, just lastly, I think we need to just remember that emotions are contagious, if I could say that. So if you are going to be an anxious mommy or daddy dropping your child off, it is probably going to rub off on them. So I think if your intention is to send your child to school on Monday morning, I think you need to get excited about it as well. You need to have a sense of humor about how things are going to happen, how it's different, how it will eventually go back to the way that it was previously. We don't know when. But I think that you need to just keep in the back of your mind that if you are going to be incredibly anxious about this, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for them. So try as far as possible, put a smile on your face, get excited, be positive, have a plan. Even if it means the night before you pack your bags, they know that they're only allowed to take one bag to school. They can help you pack the bag so that they know where all their stuff is, including their little mask, their backup mask or their spare mask that they send. Make sure that you involve them in all of that, because the more control that they can feel, the more control that they have, or the more in control they feel of their surroundings, the better they are able to cope with it. So I think that it's really important that you start talking about this kind of thing, and yeah, get behind the teachers. The other one thing I wanted to add is I think it's important that you speak to your little people about um, this is the time that I need you to put your ears on, because your teacher can't grab you to cross the road. Not that anybody's going to be crossing any roads, but there's going to be a lot of talking and a lot of instruction given without physical contact, which they possibly are used to. So I think it's very important that you speak to your children about the fact that they need to put their ears on, if that makes sense, so that when their teachers speak, they are able to listen and they are able to follow through with that instruction. So it's actually quite a big ask of a little person, um, but I think it's important that we sit down and talk them through that, because it's going to be a different environment that they are used to. Um, so yeah, I hope those few little tips helped, and we'll see everybody on Monday morning.